Hello anime fan, welcome back to What If Animes 2.0. So in this video you gonna see, what if Naruto fought for Konoha in the world of Greek gods? This is part 1. And if you want more, then hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. So let's getting the video and do check out the author of the story. It was the day of the winter solstice, and as usually the throne room was in chaos. Hades, Poseidon and Zeus were arguing about who was better. Hera was yelling at Hephaestus and Ares, who had been fighting minutes before. Apollo and Hermes were being yelled at by Demeter for pranking her garden earlier that day. Dionysus was drinking a Diet Coke watching Apollo, Hermes, Hephaestus and Ares get yelled at while reading a wine magazine. Athena, Artemis and Hestia were talking to each other in front of the hearth. Suddenly there was a bright flash of light and multiple thuds and cries of "ow." The light faded, revealing quite a few teens. The teens are Percy Jackson, Annabeth Chase, Nico D'Angelo, Grover Underwood. "Ow. Grover, get off." Percy yelled at the satyr on top of him, not that he knew that. After a few minutes all of the teens, though a few of them had a few bumps and bruises. After a good amount of introductions and explanations, mostly of Percy's sake. "So why are we all here?" Annabeth asked, looking at her mother. "I am unsure." Athena said, just as there was another but smaller flashed and a book landed on Ares' head and bounced off, which caused everyone to start chuckling. Through Hestia was more smiling than laughing. "Hey, there is a note on it," Hermes said after he picked up the stack of books. "Dear Olympians and demigods, we have decided that it was necessary for you to know what happens in another dimension about a boy named Naruto fighting against all odds and do the impossible. We feel it's necessary that you read this because we need you to understand what we feel a true hero is. This story takes place in the Shinto religion, so there would be some things you won't con. What we have to read, that's Athena's thing." Apollo yelled, looking quite comical with his eyes bugged out and jaw on the ground. Naruto. Namikaze legend. The book have been enchanted by Hecate to only be opened in the correct order and only with everyone. So don't even think of reading ahead. Athena and Annabeth. Then a long explanation about Naruto world. Didn't feel like writing it. Both Athena and Annabeth had extremely sheepish smile on their faces. Sincerely the fates and the totally awesome gods. Hermes and Apollo. "Ha, told you, we are awesome." Apollo yelled, holding out his hand for Hermes to high five, only for Hermes to shake his head and ignore his hand. "Oh, burn," Artemis said with a smirk on her face. "Anyway, who wants to read first?" Hermes said, pulling out the book. "I will," Athena said, beating her daughter by seconds, which made Annabeth pout for a few seconds. The third great ninja war had just ended. No one was really certain how the war had started, but it didn't matter. At the end of the war, Konoha emerged victorious, but not without a price. Countless shinobi died in the war, while many were injured. It was not just Konoha, every village, countries had suffered. Whether it was rain, sand, rock, or any other village, the end result was people lost their precious ones. "That's so sad," Aphrodite said while having slight tears in her eyes. Everyone couldn't help but agree with the love goddess. "It's war died, a lot of people die." Ares said sagely. Athena resumed reading before an argument breaks out. In one corner of Red Dragon restaurant sat a lonely figure. It was nighttime in Konoha and people were busy with their lives. Some were still mourning the loss of their loved ones while others were trying to get over their grief. The image appeared and showed a man about 20 years old in the village, with blonde hair and a body that looked similar to one of Apollo kids. He was handsome. The goddesses except Artemis and Athena blushed at the sight, while Annabeth did blush and had to look away from the image. Percy was jealous of the man, pulling Annabeth close to him, feeling a little possessive of her. The figure sitting in the restaurant was none other than Minato Namikaze. He was the newly appointed 4th Hokage of Konoha. Minato's story was quite eventual. He was born in the Namikaze clan. The clan was a very small clan in Konoha and were not quite famous. His parents were shinobi of the village who gave their lives in the Second Great Ninja War. As a result, Minato never got to spend much time with them. Time passed and Minato resolved himself to become a shinobi and protect the village just like his parents would have wanted him to. Percy was thinking that maybe this guy wasn't that bad since he was such a badass ninja. As a result, Minato never got to spend much time with them. Time passed and Minato resolved himself to become a shinobi and protect the village just like his parents would have wanted him to. Percy was thinking that maybe this guy wasn't that bad since he was such a badass ninja. Ninja rocks. Apollo said all dramatically while waving his arms. He gets that from you. You know? Poseidon said comically with an interested look in his eyes. Zeus growled at his brother who was snickering into his hand at him. His dream was to become Hokage someday. His life passed and he made many friends. But his closest friends were his classmates Makoto Uchiha and Kushina Uzumaki. Kushina was his best friend since childhood. At first they didn't get along much because of her loud personality, but Minato saved her from Kumo Shinobi and from there on they became good friends. But the most important person in Minato's life was Makoto Uchiha. He loved Makoto from the bottom of his heart. She was one of the best students in his class. She was the heiress of the Uchiha clan and as such was a formidable shinobi who excelled in many ninja arts. See Artemis, true love do conquer all. Aphrodite said with a smirk on her face. Shut up, slut. Artemis said, annoyed at the love goddess who was smiling at her. He could still remember the day when he met Makoto. A video showed up and everyone saw a boy that seems to be throwing knives. Flashback. 10 years ago, a blonde boy could be seen practicing throwing kunai in the training area of the academy of the village. It was already very late, but it didn't matter to the boy. Ever since his parents' death, Minato had resolved himself to become a strong shinobi. He was a good student. He was quite good in ninjutsu and taijutsu. One of his unique traits was he was skilled in fuinjutsu, which didn't go unnoticed by the third Hokage of Konoha, who was taking special interest in training Minato in fuinjutsu. Minato's friend Kushina Uzumaki was also helping him in learning that art. However, there was one thing in which he didn't have much skill, and that was shurikenjutsu. He was pretty much average in that art and as such wanted to improve himself. He had been practicing since the past 1 hour but was not getting much results. Try to loosen your hands and calm yourself down, said a soft female voice. Minato turned around and saw it was none other than Makoto Uchiha. She had jet black hair that reached up to her back, had dark black eyes like the rest of her clan. She was fair-skinned and had 2 large bangs falling on her face. She was wearing a dark blue t-shirt with the Uchiha crest on its back and black shorts. Minato gave a smile in return to Makoto. They were casual friends in the class. Makoto was different than the rest of her clan. She was kind, caring and compassionate to others, even to civilian children. However, she was also strict and firm on becoming a formidable kunoichi. Minato admired her for her strength and determination. She was one of the best students in the class. Good to see you, Makoto. But what are you doing here? Asked Minato curiously. Makoto looked at Minato and smiled. She liked Minato a lot. He was not like most of the boys who would just boast about how great they were. He was a good student and held the kunoichis as equals, and she liked that a lot. Though she hadn't spent much time with him, but she considered him a friend. Her life in her clan was quite strict. The Uchiha were a clan that followed traditions to the book. Many times their pride and ego got in the way. Makoto had to shoulder a lot of responsibilities as she was the clan heir. How she wished to be spoiled like her younger brother Shishui. I was just helping Taji-sensei in finishing some of his paperwork. I saw you here and got curious, so I came here. Do you need some help? Asked Makoto softly with a smile. Yeah, well, I would like if you could give me some pointers, said Minato sheepishly and scratched the back of his head. Makoto chuckled on seeing this. Minato was always a little silly, but she liked that. Sure, just follow what I do, instructed Makoto seriously. Arigato, said Minato happily. This was how a great friendship between Minato and Makoto was born. Flashback end. Hestia smiled at the loving scene. Aphrodite squealed at the romantic scene, making everyone wince at the loudness. Maybe this man is different from the pigs she met, thought Artemis, since most males won't accept help from females. Boo, there's no action. I don't want to listen to sappy crap, Ares said. Athena kept reading, ignoring Ares. A large smile appeared on Minato's face as he remembered that memory. Ever since then he and Makoto got closer. It was her and Kushina who had helped him in improving their skills. The trio had graduated at the top of the class. Their bonds became a lot more stronger when they were made a genin team under the legendary Sannin, Jiraiya. From there, Minato's love for Makoto grew stronger with each passing day. However, he wasn't an idiot too. He knew the Uchiha didn't allow any outsider to marry a member of their clan, less the clan heiress. As a result, he was never able to admit his love for Makoto. Percy would have to admit that must have sucked for Minato, since He imagined that if Annabeth never liked him he didn't know where he would be without her. Aphrodite squealed again, causing everyone's ears to hurt. Apollo started healing everyone. After he was done, Athena started reading again. Time passed and the three friends quickly became Chunin. Minato advanced quickly and was made a Junin. The third great ninja war had started and Minato and his genin team were sent to different fronts to fight. While Kushina and Makoto had different assignments. Minato lost many friends in the war and one of his students Opshio Uchiha. He was also different from the rest of his clan like Makoto. His personality was similar to Kushina and he shared Minato's dream of becoming Hokage. Minato was deeply saddened by his sudden death. Percy remembered Beckondiv death and started to feel guilty again. Annabeth seeing this whispered in his ear. It wasn't your fault, seaweed brain. He sacrificed himself, so stop thinking about it. Annabeth said while gently holding his hand comfortably. Thanks, wise girl, said Percy. Athena didn't like the sea spawn close to her daughter, so she started to read faster. Despite the turmoil of his feelings, Minato led Konoha to victory through his skills. The most deadly being his Hirishin, his teleportation technique based on the second Hokage's jutsu. Due to his heroic efforts, bravery and wisdom, he was chosen as the fourth Hokage of Konoha. He had finally achieved his dream, but still he wasn't able to tell Makoto about his feelings for her. As if someone had heard his thoughts, he heard a voice call him. Why's the great fourth Hokage of Konoha sitting alone? Asked a soft familiar voice. Minato looked up and saw it was his love Makoto. She had become quite strong and beautiful in the past decade. Her jet black hair now reached up to her back. Her eyes were more brighter than before and her Sharingan eyes made her look more sexy and dangerous. She had C-cup breasts and a slim body. She was a formidable Junin of the village. An image showing Makoto. Now it was the gods' turn to blush at the sexy woman and most of them had trouble looking away from her curve. Damn, Apollo said, still eyeing the beauty before him. Hermes took out his phone and started taking pictures for later. Maybe he could sell them for money. Finally got time to see me, Makoto-sama. Joke Minato. Is that how you greet me? It's been so long since we've seen each other, I thought you forgot about me. I'm hurt, said Makoto with a pout. Minato chuckled on seeing this. Makoto just looked so much adorable. He signaled her to sit with him, which she gladly accepted. Makoto then noticed Minato was a little sad. This hurt her a lot. She really liked Minato. For her he was a person with whom she would like to spend her entire life. She secretly loved Minato, but since he had never mentioned about his feelings, she hadn't confessed her feelings for him yet. Are you okay? Asked Makoto warmly and put her hands on Minato's hands. Somewhat, we have lost so many friends and loved ones. I just cannot believe I lost Obito too, said Minato sadly. I know, he was the joy of my clan. I wished he was alive now. I wish Rin didn't die too, she was such a nice girl. How is Kakashi doing? Asked Makoto sadly. She had met Minato's genin team many times and quite frankly she liked those kids. He is holding up fine, however Rin's loss has shaken him a lot. This war has costed us a lot, said Minato solemnly. I'm always there for you, Minato. You can always talk to me, said Makoto gently and caressed Minato's cheeks affectionately. Minato felt a warm sensation in his gut when he felt Makoto touching his cheeks. He looked at her beautiful face. One of the things he had learned from the war and Obito's death was their life was short. He then made up his mind. He knew his life was short as a shinobi and he didn't want to die without confessing his feelings for Makoto. Even if she didn't love him, he would always love her. Makoto, I want to say something, said Minato carefully. What is it? Asked Makoto curiously. She just felt that it was going to be something very important that may change her life. I love you, said Minato with a warm smile. Aphrodite squealed. What? Asked a shocked Makoto. I have loved you since long. You are my friend, comrade, you were always there for me. You took care of me. There is no other woman in this village or the entire world whom I love more than you, confessed Minato honestly. It's okay if you don't have any feelings for me, I understand. But I will always love you and be there for you, said Minato with a wide smile. He was quite surprised when he was grabbed by his collar and before he could think of what was happening he felt someone's lips kissing him. He looked carefully and saw it was Makoto who was kissing him. Many emotions were running through his mind. Happiness, passion, confusion, love and many more. He didn't know what overcame him, but he kissed her back more passionately. For the people in the restaurant, it was one of the most shocking scenes they had ever seen. Their beloved fourth Hokage was kissing the heiress of the Uchiha clan. Many women were glaring at Makoto for trying to steal Minato, while Minato was receiving the same look from the men. But oblivious to all of this, Minato and Makoto were in their own dream world. Both of them wished that things should stay this way and were feeling very happy. After a few moments, Makoto broke the kiss, much to Minato's protest. He just couldn't resist kissing her more. "What took you so long?" asked Makoto with a smile. She had a few tears in her eyes. "I didn't have the courage to tell you," said Minato honestly. "Were you afraid you would lose me? How come you are telling me your feelings now?" asked Makoto curiously. "Yes, I was afraid that I would lose you. And why I'm telling you now is because of Obito," said Minato truthfully. "Obito?" asked Makoto with a questioning gaze. "Yes, just like how I love you." Obito had feelings for Rin too, but before he could tell her, he died. "I realized that I may die as a shinobi too, but I didn't want to die without telling you how I feel for you," said Minato with a true smile. "Thank you, Obito," thought Makoto gratefully. "Do you love me?" asked Minato a little anxiously. "Yes, I love you, Minato," said Makoto with a true smile. The smile which she saw on Minato's face could have brightened up the entire village. He jumped over the table and engulfed her in a bear hug. She was surprised by this sudden reaction, but after a few seconds hugged him tightly and had a large smile on her face. "Oh, they look so cute. Damn, never saw this coming. Congratulations, Hokage-sama." Minato and Makoto hadn't realized that they were in a restaurant and people were watching them. If it was any other situation, they would be ashamed of themselves if they hadn't seen so many people's attention directed on them, but this time it was different. They were in their own world and confessing their feelings for each other. The couple thanked all the people respectively, and before the entire village found them here, they decided to get out of there. Minato took Makoto's hands in his own and they both teleported away. When Makoto opened her eyes, she saw they were standing on top of the Hokage monument. She was feeling a little uneasy as she had just been teleported by his Hirishin. Even after traveling with Minato for so many times, she just couldn't totally get accustomed to it. "Are you alright?" asked Minato a little worriedly. "I'm fine, just feeling a little dizzy," said Makoto tiredly. "Yeah, it happens sometimes." "Makoto, can I ask you something?" asked Minato seriously. Makoto looked at Minato curiously. She didn't know what was going in his mind right now. "Would you like to marry me and spend the rest of your life with me?" asked Minato hopefully. "Well, he certainly was fast," said Hermes, shocked at the sudden proposal. "So were the others." "No, he wasn't. He loves her so they can get married. Remember, they're at a war-torn world, so he could die any moment. So he did the right thing, not wanting to die with any regret." Aphrodite said what she thought was right. "Are you okay, Aphrodite?" Apollo said warily, looking at the love goddess cautiously. "Yeah, why?" Aphrodite said, confused at the question. "You said something smart," Artemis said bluntly, while causing Aphrodite to huff angrily before she could retort. Athena kept reading. Makoto's eyes widened on hearing this. She didn't expect Minato to propose her so quickly, but seeing the look on his face, she understood that he wanted to tell her this for a long time. The confession was the first step of conveying his feelings. She thought about the idea. She would love to marry a man like Minato, but first she thought about her entire position. She was indeed the clan heir of the Uchiha clan, but if she wanted to marry Minato, she would no longer be the clan heiress. But her younger brother Shishui may be able to take her place and lead the clan. Her father was a very nice person and he loved Makoto very much. She knew her father would understand, and since Minato was the Hokage of the village, it would help in improving the clan status in the village, and as such the Uchiha clan's elders would agree readily. That would be the end of the formalities, but now came her personal opinion. She knew Minato and Kushina were very close friends, but she wanted to confirm that they were not together and she was not getting in the way between both of them. After all, those two were her closest friends. "Minato, before I give you my answer, can you give me an honest answer to my question?" asked Makoto seriously. "Hi," replied Minato sincerely. "Do you have any feelings for Kushina?" "It's because I don't want to get in your way. You two are my best friends and I don't want to hurt any of you," said Makoto a little worriedly. Minato understood what Makoto was trying to say. It was indeed true, he and Kushina were very close friends, but he didn't have any romantic feelings for her. However, it was not the case with Kushina. She really liked Minato, but she never tried to impose her feelings on him. Minato cared about Kushina deeply but just couldn't love her more than a best friend. No, I care about Kushina deeply but only as a best friend. She was our teammate, we practically grew up together, went through a lot of pain together. She may have some feelings for me but I just love her as a friend and nothing more. The one person whom I love with all my heart is you, Makoto," said Minato honestly. That was all the confirmation Makoto needed and she hugged Minato tightly. "Yes, I would love to marry you," said Makoto happily. Minato hugged her back. His dream had finally become a reality. He had become Hokage, he was acknowledged by everyone in the village, made his clan and his parents proud and finally had found the lady of his life. Nothing in life could make Minato more happy. They both remained like that for quite some time, enjoying the warmth of each other. Minato then broke the hug as he too had some questions for Makoto. "Do you think your father would agree to this, Makoto?" asked Minato curiously. "I think he will. He loves me very much. Ever since my mother's death he had always took care of me and Shisui. He is the reason why the Uchiha clan is still respected a lot. I know there had been some tensions going on during the Second Ninja War but my father made our clan believe that this was our village too and we were a part of it. He holds you in high regards. Most of the members of my clan respect you deeply. You are fair to each and every clan of Konoha and have always treated us respectfully, so I don't think there will be much resistance to this. Shisui can easily take my place and lead the clan. Our clan is not as large as it was before and has been reduced in numbers but still we would always be loyal to the village and if I marry you it would also strengthen your ties with my clan," explained Makoto briefly. Minato was quite impressed by the thorough analysis which Makoto had given him about the entire situation. The cards were indeed in their favor, and he liked that. "Wow, that was a very impressive deduction, Makoto. Maybe you should have become Hokage. At least that would mean no paperwork for me," joked Minato and chuckled. "I rather be a housewife and raise a family than do that boring work." "Thanks but no thanks," said Makoto jovially. "Sigh, at least I tried," said Minato happily. "Are you sure about this?" asked Makoto seriously. "Yes, I have made up my mind. I want to marry you and as the fourth Hokage of Konoha it wouldn't be much problem for me to get your hand from your father," said Minato a little confidently. "Getting overconfident are we?" asked Makoto slyly with a devious smile. "What have I gotten myself into?" thought Minato a little worriedly as he saw that devious smile on her face. "You have no idea," thought Zeus, feeling pity for the male. Since he was married he knew all the pain that comes with it. Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage of Konoha, was known in the entire shinobi world as the Yellow Flash. His enemies fled on sight of him and yet we find him sitting a little nervously in a chair in front of Makoto's family. It was just him, Makoto, her father Kagami Uchiha and her younger brother Shisui. Minato felt a little uncomfortable since Kagami was staring at him for the past few moments. His stern black eyes really were getting on Minato's nerves. "So you want to marry my daughter Hokage-sama?" said Kagami seriously. "Please, Minato is fine, Kagami-sama. Yes, I love Makoto with all my heart and I want to marry her," said Minato sincerely and gave a firm gaze to Kagami indicating he was absolutely sure about this. "Will you keep Makoto Ne-chan happy, Minato-sama?" asked Shisui honestly. "I promise that," said Minato truthfully. "I guess Makoto agrees with this and is content with this proposal?" asked Kagami. He then gave a warm gaze to his daughter. In truth he was more than happy that her beloved daughter had chosen a man like Minato. Kagami respected Minato. He had indeed inherited the will of fire which Kagami's sensei Tobarama Senju spoke of. Also Kagami's best friend Hiruzen also held Minato in high regards. The entire village loved Minato and Kagami was more than ready for this proposal, but as a clan head and a father he had to make the young couple understand the importance of this matter. "Haito-san, I love Minato too and want to spend my life with him. I request you accept our wish and give us your best wishes," said Makoto softly. "You realize that if you marry Minato you cannot be the head of this clan and won't have much say in the clan affairs. Such a marriage has not been done before. Are you willing to let go of your clan to marry Minato?" asked Kagami seriously. He had high hopes from Makoto and his daughter had fulfilled his every wish and had made the Uchiha clan very proud. "I know too, San, but I believe in a few years Shisui can lead our clan better than me," I will always be devoted to our clan whether I am Minato's wife or not. The Uchiha clan is my family and I shall never forsake them," said Makoto firmly and gave her father a determined look. Kagami's face relaxed and a wide smile came on his face. Shishui had already known what his father was doing and was happy for his sister. "Then you have my blessings. I will make sure the others in the clan agree with this. However, there is a certain condition for this marriage to happen," said Kagami seriously. "What is this condition?" asked Minato curiously. "If any of your children manage to awaken the Sharingan, they shall also have to adopt the Uchiha name along with your clan's name. They will also have to fulfill certain responsibilities towards this clan. The Sharingan is our Kekkai Genkai and your children will be part of our clan too. Also, before you or your children decide to marry another person from another clan, they shall have to consult with the current head of our clan. We will not impose our ideals or ambitions on them, but we just would like to know about their reasons for this. That's all," explained Kagami briefly. Athena had a thoughtful look on her face, wondering if there was something why it's important to the child to have their clan name when he wasn't from the clan. Minato thought about the condition briefly. If his son, daughter awakened the Sharingan, then they would also inherit the Uchiha name. He didn't have any problems with that, as they would also be Makoto's children and she had a right to give them her clan name too. Next were their responsibilities in the Uchiha clan. He knew Kagami was an honest person and so was his son Shishui. They wouldn't try to use his children for power. The last condition was a little strange, but Minato had to agree with it. "I accept your conditions only on one condition, that my children won't be forced to do anything against their wishes. I wish to marry Makoto and I have faith in you and the Uchiha clan, but I shall not do this at the cost of my children's future by any member of your clan or any other person," said Minato strictly. Kagami could feel the pressure in Minato's voice. This was the voice of a Hokage. He was happy that such a firm man was going to marry his daughter, a man who valued family. Shishui was satisfied by Minato's answer. In truth, he wouldn't even dream of hurting his nephew, niece. They would be precious to him and he would make sure that no one forces them to do anything. "I give you my word, Minato, please take care of my daughter," requested Kagami with a warm smile. Makoto was feeling a lot more happy. She was proud of Minato. He cared about her clan's future as well as the future of their own children. He was a responsible man and Makoto was happy that she had made the best decision of her life by choosing to marry Minato. The thought of a little blonde boy running around her house made her heart feel more warm. She just couldn't wait to have her own children. She would shower her children with love and she and Minato would make sure that they would be the best parents in the whole world for their children. Makoto knew one thing, that soon all her wishes will be fulfilled and she would be a proud wife and lovely mother to her son. Athena closed the book, having a lot of things to think about, before saying, "Well, who wants to read next?" "The son of Poseidon will," ordered Zeus. "Well said, boy, hope he can read, if not he going to embarrass himself." Athena tossed the book towards Percy, who coughs it and read the first line and surprised he could read it well. Time skip. 4 years later, Percy started reading. It was September 15th, an ordinary night in the village hidden in the leaves. The village had recovered greatly in these last few years. Its military strength was back to its full capacity and the village was economically stable. That's good, because if their enemies caught wind that they were weak and vulnerable, they might go back into war. And that's the last thing they need, Athena commented, not wanting a boring lecture about defense and war strategy. Percy sped up reading, ignoring Athena and Annabeth glare that was net towards him, while Poseidon was giving him the silent thumbs up. People were living their lives peacefully in the village. It was all possible because of the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze's efforts. Tonight, the entire village was a lot more livelier than usual. Many of the people were celebrating. The reason was also very special. Konoha had achieved victory in the Third Great Ninja War on this day. Also, today was the day when the child of their beloved fourth Hokage was going to be born. Almost the entire village was eager to see the child being born. Hera and Artemis were smiling at the good news, since their domains is childbirth and motherhood. On the outskirts of the village stood a lone figure. This person was none other than Kushina Uzumaki. "Yes, catfight," joked Apollo, getting Hermes and Ares to agree with the sun god. "Pigs," Artemis said, looking at all three of them with an annoyed look. Kushina's life had changed a lot in these years. If you could say a major part of her had died during these years. She was devastated when Minato married Makoto, but she did not bore any ill will towards them. She knew that Minato was always attracted to Makoto. During their time as a team, both of them were very close. She did her duty as a shinobi, but with each passing day a part of her died when she saw Minato and Makoto together. She had lost faith in the shinobi world and her life after seeing the horrors of the Third Great Ninja War. She just didn't care about anything anymore. Wait, why? Annabeth said questionably. Because she had her heart broken. Annie, Aphrodite said smartly, knowing exactly what was going on in that poor woman's heart. She could still remember the day when Minato had talked with her. A video appears, flashback. Kushina Uzumaki was standing in the Hokage's office. She was happy to see Minato after such a long time. She had been away on missions and as such had missed Minato. Minato gave her a small smile which Kushina reciprocated it with her wide smile. How are you, Minato-kun? It's been a long time, Datbeo, said Kushina happily. Minato felt a little guilty. He was feeling very sad that he would have to break Kushina's heart. Kushina, it's good to see you, replied Minato curtly. Where's Makoto? I haven't seen her since I've arrived, said Kushina confusedly. It's because she is making preparations for her marriage, said Minato, dropping the bombshell on Kushina. What? When? How did this happen? Who is the guy? Yelled Kushina frantically. Minato chuckled a little. This was Kushina's typical behavior which he and Makoto had got used to. She was going to tell you, but since you are here I'll tell you. But please calm down, said Minato. He then went towards her and surprisingly hugged her. Kushina was a little startled by this, but she hugged him too. She felt a lot happy when she was this close to Minato. It was her dream to be with him, to spend her life with him. We are getting married. I and Makoto-chan are getting married, said Minato sadly. He knew it must be very painful for her and was trying his best to convey it to her less painfully. Kushina was shocked on hearing this. It was as if someone had stabbed her in the back. The man she loved, with whom she wanted to have a family, was marrying her best friend. This can't be happening, said Kushina with tears in her eyes. Her voice was becoming more choked with each passing moment. Minato for his part hugged her more tightly. He knew she must be broken, but he had to do this. I'm sorry, Kushina. I love you, but only as a best friend. We have been through a lot together. You are precious to me, but please understand I love Makoto-chan, begged Minato. Find someone with whom you can spend the rest of your life. It is possible to live as a Jinchuriki if you fill yourself with love. Kushina remembered those words. These were said by Mito Uzumaki, the wife of Shodai Hokage, who was the previous Jinchuriki. She told Kushina that she could also live a happy life despite being a Jinchuriki. I love you, Minato. I have loved from the day we became friends. We used to hang out together, fight together. I just can't live without you, begged Kushina and broke the hug so she could look Minato straight in the eyes. Minato's heart broke into 1,000 pieces when he saw how much broken Kushina was. Her eyes were full of tears. It was as if she was desperate. You deserve someone better than me, Kushina. I am not worthy for you, said Minato and averted his eyes from her. No, Kushina. This can't be happening, yelled Kushina and grabbed Minato by his shoulder. Minato, please don't do this. I cannot live without you. You are everything to me, requested Kushina in a broken voice. Kushina, please understand. I love Makoto. I care about you as my best friend. I cannot pretend to love you. It would mean betraying all of us. Please, requested Minato in a sad voice. Mito-sama, you lied to me. I don't have anyone, my life, my pain. Why did this happen to me? What did I ever do to deserve this? Thought Kushina sadly. With these dark thoughts in mind, Kushina went out of the room with a broken heart. Minato just stood there with a sad expression on his face. Flashback end. Athena was looking at the video closely and she could tell when a person is going into darkness and it looks like the leaf just got an enemy that can be used against them, when she sees the darkness in the girl's eyes. A lone tear slipped from her eyes. Since that day she couldn't maintain a friendship with Minato and Makoto. Both of them had tried many times to help her, but whenever she looked at Minato, she couldn't suppress the pain in her heart. She didn't have much friends and as a result she started to get isolated. She joined the Anbu Black Ops to escape from her pain. But even after risking her life on dangerous missions, her pain didn't went away. Today was the day when Minato and Makoto's child was going to be born. Today it could have been the birthday of my son, thought Kushina sadly. Another person appeared behind her in a vortex. He was wearing black robes with red clouds on it. His face was covered by an orange mask. He had spiky black hair and his Sharingan was visible through a hole in his mask. "Hello Kushina," said the man seriously. Kushina just gave a nod in return. She just couldn't continue to live like this. She had even tried to end her life but was unsuccessful. She just didn't have anything left to live. "Have you made up your mind yet?" asked the person calmly. "Yes. This world is full of lies and deception, Kushina. There can be no peace in this world. People like us who survive are trash. This is a pointless reality where no one can become happy. Join me and we shall create a world full of peace and happiness," offered the man seriously. "Will your plan work? Can we really succeed in creating such world?" asked Kushina seriously. "Yes, in our world, you can be with Minato, have your own family, friends, you can have every happiness you desire. No more wars, no fighting, living in peace. But before that I need to ask you something?" asked the man seriously. "What do you want to ask, Madara?" asked Kushina irritatingly. The man named Madara chuckled a little. Kushina was indeed very short-tempered. "Do you feel anything for the people of this world?" asked Madara sternly. Kushina's entire life flashed in her mind, the destruction of her clan and village, the death of her parents, her being brought to Konoha to become a Jinchuriki, Mito's false words, her time with Minato, Makoto and Jiraiya, the war where she saw so many deaths, the pain when Minato married Makoto, her life full of loneliness and sadness. Her eyes hardened after remembering all that. Madara saw the look in her eyes and a wide smile cracked behind his mask. "Things are going better than I planned," thought Madara with a smirk. "This place, this world. I don't care about it anymore," said Kushina sternly with all emotions leaving from her eyes. "So it begins. This doesn't look good for them," everyone thought, wondering what it means for that world. In a secluded room in the hospital, lay a woman. She had jet black hair and dark black eyes. Her face was beautiful, but right now she was going through an unbearable pain. She was none other than Makoto Namikaze Uchiha, wife of the 4th Hokage and former heiress of the Uchiha clan. "Ah!" screamed Makoto as she was trying to give birth to her soon-to-be-born child. By her side was her husband, Minato Namikaze, who looked very nervous and worried. He had not been so much frightened in his entire life, but seeing Makoto in so much pain was unbearable for him. "It's going to be okay," soothed Minato in Makoto's ears as she went through another pain. She clutched his hand tightly in order to receive some more comfort. "It hurts," said Makoto as tears rolled from her eyes. "Please Makoto-sama, you need to push a little further, you are almost there," said the female head medic. "You can do this Makoto, hang in there," said Minato and wiped away her tears and gave her a soft kiss on her forehead. Despite being exhausted, Makoto felt a little happy as Minato was there beside her. She too was doing everything she could to bring her firstborn child into this world. She was escalated when she was told that she was going to become a mother. Her dream was finally becoming a reality. She was just one step away from seeing the face of her beloved child. With renewed strength and courage, she willed herself to not give up. She started the painful process once again, but this time she went further without stopping. This process continued for a few more moments until a cry was heard in the entire room. Makoto was panting heavily, while Minato was having a few tears in his eyes as he saw the medic cut the umbilical cord gently. Makoto watched with blurry eyes as the medics washed the blood of her child. The medic then came forward with the baby wrapped up in a bundle of cloth. "Congratulations Makoto-sama, it's a boy," said the medic happily and gently handed over the baby to Makoto. The infant had blonde hair like Minato, but instead of being spiky like Minato they were very silky. The baby had two short blonde locks falling on his small face. He was fair-skinned like Makoto and had almost the same facial structure as her. Tears were freely flowing from Makoto's eyes as she felt complete. This was her child, her own flesh and blood. He was the most beautiful baby for her in the entire world. The infant then slowly opened his eyes, and Makoto's breath got caught in her lungs when she saw his innocent black eyes. They were the same as hers. The infant then gave a small smile to Makoto, and this moment would forever be arched in her memory as the most beautiful sight in her life. All the goddesses and Annabeth cooed at the cute baby while the male rolled their eyes at them. "I love you, my Sochi," said Makoto warmly and embraced her son. "He just looks like you Makoto-chan. Thank you for being with me and making me a father." said Minato happily and kissed Makoto softly. He then gently took his son in his arms. The infant was a little hesitant when Minato took him from Makoto. The boy then looked at Minato in what may appear to be confusion. It was as if his innocent black eyes were observing Minato carefully. Minato chuckled on seeing this. His son was indeed a very keen observer. On hearing Minato's laugh, the infant also smiled in an innocent manner. "So what should we name him?" asked Minato happily while holding his son. "I was thinking we should name him Itachi, but I want you to name him. He is our son, and as a father I think you should name him," said Makoto with a warm smile. "Thank you, Makoto-chan. I was thinking about the name in Jiraiya's sensei's book," said Minato, but was cut off when Makoto gave him a very stern glare. "Minato Namikaze, if you are planning to name my son after Jiraiya sensei's pervy books, then I'll," said Makoto, but was cut off when Minato quickly shook his head. Minato knew Makoto was a very kind and gentle wife, but when it came to her children she was very protective. The fact that she hated the Icha Icha series was also a point which she had made clear to Minato very gently. "I meant, The Tale of Gutsy Ninja. The name of the main character of that book," said Minato quickly. The baby laughed when he saw Minato's face. It was as if all of this was funny to him. Makoto also laughed when he saw that her son was happy. "You want to name him Naruto?" asked Makoto softly. "Who names their son Fishcake?" Annabeth questioned softly. "It means maelstrom," Apollo said, knowing how to speak Japanese. "Yeah, he will grow up to be a great man just like the hero of the book," said Minato happily. "I guess it isn't so bad name after all," said a new voice. Minato and Makoto turned around and saw Kagami and Shisui standing there. Kagami's eyes were a little moist and was looking at Makoto lovingly. Shisui quickly came in front of Minato and gently took Naruto in his arms. "So this is my nephew, he sure looks a lot like you, sis," said Shisui with a laugh. "Why not? He's my son after all," said Makoto with a warm smile. "Makoto, I'm really happy for you, my child. You have given me every happiness in this world and finally my grandson. I am proud of you," said Kagami with the biggest smile on his face. "Thank you, Toussaint," said Makoto with a warm smile. "I just can't wait to teach him all my techniques, sis. If he awakens the Sharingan I'll teach him everything," said Shisui excitedly. Contrary to his clan, Shisui was a very lively person. He was the same as his mother. "Hey, I'm here too, you know. I also want to teach my son many things," said Minato excitedly. "Hold your horses," said Makoto sternly to both men. Minato and Shisui looked at Makoto, who was looking at them seriously. "You may teach him when he grows up, but for now he is my baby and I want to spend time with him." "And you're forgetting something, I am his mother, so if anyone has the right to teach him first, it's me," said Makoto with a smirk. "Now that's my daughter," said Kagami with a chuckle. Minato and Shisu both looked at each other and had the same expression on their face. "Women," all the male agreed with Shisui, while the female, "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" yelled at them, causing all the male to shriek in fear. Unknown location. In a dark room stood 9 people in different directions. One thing which all of them had in common was they were wearing black robes with red clouds on it. The figure standing in the middle had purple eyes and was looking at all the members without any emotions on his face. It was as if he was a corpse. "Today we welcome a new member to the Akatsuki," said the man stoically. At that moment Kushina stepped forward and made herself more visible to the other members of the group. Some of the members were quite surprised when they saw Kushina. Her long red hair were now tied in a long ponytail. She had the Konoha headband on her head, but there was a big slash on it. Her entire body was covered in the Akatsuki robes and she had a sword strapped on her back. "The Red Death of Konoha. You sure have a lot of bounty on your head," said a man with dark green eyes. "Shut it, Kakuza, this one's pretty, maybe I should offer her to Jashin-sama," said a short man with gray hair. He had a long scythe rested on his shoulders. "Hidan, you and your idiot god are not important. The money is more important than your stupid religion," said Kakazu harshly. "Shut up, Kakuza," said Hidan angrily. "I find it rather interesting that someone like you joined the Akatsuki." "What are your intentions?" said a scorpion-like man. He had his face covered by a mask. "It's rude to ask a lady a question without introducing yourselves," said Kushina rudely. She didn't give a rat's ass about any of these people. She was joining just because Madara had told her to. Sasori of the Red Sands. Former shinobi of Sanagakure. Said Sasori curtly, you sure bring interesting members, Toby. Said a black plant-like person but muttered the last part silently. Indeed. Agreed its white counterpart. You're a Jinchuriki, aren't you? Samahata can sense your chakra. Grinned a shark-like man. Kisame Hoshigaki, former swordsman of the mist. And that bizarre excuse for a sword is sharkskin, I suppose. That sword is pathetic, said Kushina with a smirk. She was amused when Kisami's eyes hardened and he lifted his sword. Enough, everyone stopped talking and looked at the man in the center. The only person who had not spoken yet was a woman who was standing beside the man and was looking at all of them without any expression on her face. Her reasons are not important. She has special talents which are required for our purpose, just like all of you. Said the man sternly. But Leader Sama, aren't we supposed to catch people like her for our purpose? Asked Hidan dumbly. Yes, we do need the Kyuubi, but she is an Uzumaki and as such she won't die when we extract the Kyuubi from her. She has chakra chains that are helpful in subduing Biju. Explained the leader neutrally. Our aim is the same. The 5 great nations are corrupt and it is time for them to feel pain. But before we can put our plans in motion, we need certain resources and preparations for that. Said the woman standing beside the leader for the first time. Kakuza, Hidan, you two will work together from now. Kakuza, you will handle our finances. Ordered the leader. Understood. Said Kakauza a little happily. He sure loved money, just don't get in my way, Kakuza. Barked Hidan, but Kakuza just ignored him. Kisame, you will team up with Kushina. Both of you have certain skills which I need. You will do the missions I give you, said the leader sternly. Kushina just gave a threatening glare to Kisame, saying to be wary of her. Kisame smirked and had a mad smile on his face. Sasori, you will work on your own. Your job is to find us new potential recruits. Only take the best, said the leader sternly. Hi Leader Sama. Replied Sasori. Zetsu, you will keep watch on the 5 great nations and keep us informed about their activities. Ordered the leader. It will be fun. Said the black part of Zetsu. We will get the job done, said Zetsu's white part. A new era has come and we shall lead this world to a right path. Said the leader firmly. All the members just stared at him. Kushina just remained impassive. The only thing she was interested in was her own ambitions, and she would do whatever it takes to fulfill them. On the top of the cave, stood Madara looking at the members curiously. I wonder how things are going to change. We were lucky that we only had to deal with Kronos. Said Percy, shocked at the group. The hitman that can do tons of damage. Athena and Annabeth was silently thinking what each their weakness might be in strength and hoping that the group doesn't end up in their dimension. Konoha, Minato was sitting in his office. Last night had been one of the best nights of his life. His son was finally born, he was finally a father. Many people had congratulated him. The entire village had celebrated on Naruto's birthday. Mikoto was very happy and she was not willing to let go Naruto from her sights. He was the Hokage, so had to assume his duties, but that didn't mean his mind couldn't be with his family. His thoughts then drifted to Kushina. He suddenly felt very sad when he thought about his best friend. In these years, Kushina had started distancing himself from him and Mikoto. She was present at their wedding but only congratulated them with sad eyes. Mikoto and him had tried many times to make her happy and get her life back on track, but she refused to have any kind of relationship with them. She had slowly started becoming a lot more depressed when Minato had received her request to join Anbu. He had first denied it as he was worried for her safety. But she had insisted quite harshly and Minato had to agree as the Anbu commander readily accepted her proposal. They needed skilled people like her. They had lost many skilled shinobi in the war and as such he had to do what was right as a Hokage, no matter how much it pained his heart. Since then they had never even heard from Kushina. Mikoto blamed herself for Kushina's misery but Minato had assured her that it wasn't their fault. Suddenly he was interrupted from his thoughts when an Anbu appeared in front of him. Hokage-sama, there is an emergency. Said the Anbu seriously. Minato schooled his features, he had to do his duty. Personal problems could wait later. What is the situation? Asked Minato strictly in Hokage mode. Kushina Uzumaki has been found missing since last night. Said the Anbu, shocking Minato. What? Said Minato loudly. Hokage-sama, She was assigned patrol duty by the Anbu commander last night, but she has not returned to HQ. We had already started searching her, we checked her posts and the entire village but there has been no trace of her. Explained the Anbu briefly. This is bad, thought Minato worriedly. Kushina had the Kyuubi sealed in her, and if she was missing then something must have happened to her. Did someone attack her? He had assigned some Anbu to watch over her as she was the Jinchuriki. What about the Anbu squad I had assigned to watch her? Questioned Minato strictly. They are missing 2 Hokage-sama. Right now we are counting them as Miya, missing in action, with the possibility of them being found Kia, killed in action. Explained the Anbu. Get the best trackers from the Inuzuka, Aburame and Hyuga clans. I want an entire task force of Anbu Black Ops to search for her in the entire Fire Country. Ordered Minato firmly. The entire Fire Country? Asked the shocked Anbu. Yes, we need to find her Kukuli. Send me the Anbu commander. This information is top secret and you are not to reveal any of its contents to anyone. The penalty for breaking this order is death, said Minato sternly. Hi, said the Anbu confidently, failure is not an option. Now move, commanded Minato. Yes, sir, said the Anbu and shunshined quickly to carry out his orders. Minato went towards the window in his office. He looked at his village. Dark clouds were surrounding the village. The people were living their lives unaware of the trouble the village was in. A storm is coming, thought Minato. He was very worried about Kushina. Despite everything, she was his childhood friend, teammate and best friend. He decided not to tell Makoto about this for now as she had just given birth and he wanted her to look after Naruto. He would find Kushina himself and nothing could stop him. He was the 4th Hokage of Konoha. Kushina, where are you? Thanks for watching guys.